It's fine because I'm about to make you very mad.
There's no way you have a strong opinion on this. You've not seen Breaking Bad, have you?
I've seen some, and I have an opinion on Breaking Bad.
Have you seen more than the first 2 seasons?
No.
Oh, you've got a dog shit opinion. I already know it.
Oh, I got bored. Which I've been told is a fair opinion because the first 2 seasons were quite slow.
The first 2 seasons aged like fine wine. But you have to get through them for them to age. I fully get it. The first time I tried to watch it, I did the exact same thing. And then like 6 months later, I forced myself to go back through it. Because I was like, no, Connor. Because my brain could see the strings being pulled. But you know what I'm like? I get distracted by something new and shiny, and then I forget to go back to it. I was like, no, fucking pound through this. And then once I got through it, I was like, and then like the next 4 seasons disappeared in like 3 days.
I think it's also like how hyped people made that show, and I was just like, I can't.
Here's the thing. By the time I got around to it, it had been out for like a few years.
Oh,
so like, there wasn't even that much hype around it anymore. I was able to fully enjoy. That's why I didn't watch it originally. You know what I do? I don't watch stuff out of spite sometimes. And that's what I initially did with Breaking Bad.
So, Mando versus Breaking Bad. Let's start with personal relevance.
What we're going to say is up front, for anyone who's watched both of these shows, this is going to be basically impossible. So Mando for me brought me from just a Star Wars film fan, and I would describe myself as a casual Star Wars fan up until Mando. I think this podcast helped because it made me need to watch more. But before that, I just enjoyed going. I enjoyed going to the cinema to watch a new Star Wars film. Fuck yeah, baby! And it really showed me the power of Filoni, because this was the first thing of Filoni's that I fully watched. And then I went back and watched the rest of Clone Wars and Bad Batch and all the other bits and pieces that came with that. So it really opened me up to the wider Star Wars universe and increased my love for Star Wars. Breaking Bad. I was late to watch it, so I watched it in a vacuum. There was no discussion on Twitter about it. There was no everyone waiting for the new episode. It had been way long enough that people weren't constantly going, "Oh, have you not seen Breaking Bad? Oh, you've got to watch it." I just decided to watch it, and it still blew my mind, even without having anyone there to watch it with, if that makes sense. Like sometimes watching a show as it comes out with the internet just elevates the whole experience.
Yeah, I get you.
This show blew my mind, even without the internet there to like roll the hype up for me.
Breaking Bad, as we've just previously touched on, I tried watching it a few years later due to people often saying, "Oh, Breaking Bad's amazing, you should watch it. You should find the time to watch it." Like everyone saying it's this amazing show. I don't even think I actually finished the second season. I think I just got it was for me. I just got bored. It was just I wasn't hooked on it, and then it's like I was like, this. Maybe people said to me, "Oh, well, yeah, the first 2 seasons are rough. You just gotta get through." I'm like, I can't be that. I have no tie to Breaking Bad because it's just like, and maybe this is a little bit of spite. I was just like, I don't care enough to actually go watch this.
Wait, you didn't watch the last episode of season 2? You don't think?
I don't think so.
That would have been the bit that would have grabbed you. I've just googled what that episode is. That would have been the moment you were like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck!" You were like
I don't
maybe
know how
120 minutes away from that show having you by the balls.
Well, should have been written better.
See, here's the thing. I do fully get that. And while I was watching it, I was the exact same. But it does the more traditional thing of laying groundwork. Like, Breaking Bad would not have got to a 3rd season today because it would have been cancelled after the first one. But Breaking Bad is a perfect use case for why you shouldn't jump the gun. And sometimes you've got to let a story be a story. Because they also didn't go on for longer than they had to in 15 seasons. They were 6 seasons, that's all you're getting. This is point A, this is point B. let us get there, and they just went fine.
But yeah, so I haven't seen all of it. I gave up. Mando. I mean, I've always been a fan of Star Wars. I've watched Clone Wars. I've watched Rebels and all that. Mando was just like the step into live action TV, and I mean, Dave Filoni is amazing. So I knew like it was gonna be great, and it was just like it really did open the door to all these other shows we've now had, and it's like I was always so excited to get more Star Wars, especially in like a. We knew of Mandalore and all that, but like we never. It was a new area that we hadn't really got to see, so I was super excited for when all that came out. And who doesn't like Baby Yoda? Like,
True.
Carried
Sorry,
that show.
the child or Grogu.
I don't care. I will always call it Baby Yoda.
How well has it aged?
Now, even though I've not seen all of Breaking Bad, going off your reaction to me not seeing it, and what everyone has always told me is like, it was an amazing show by the end of it. The first 2 seasons were rough, but in general, the whole thing aged very well.
And I think the whole show has aged like a fine wine when people still talk about it.
Yeah.
And its spin-off, Better Call Saul,
Yeah.
is also seen as one of the greatest shows of all time. Like, when your show is so big that its spin-off is also huge, I think that says a lot.
Mando, I mean, it was well loved when it came out, and I think it still is. The only thing I can say in like how it's aged is it has allowed, it's opened the door to all these extra shows and new avenues of Star Wars that we, to be honest, we were in a very Star Wars drought. We were in a Star Wars drought. The Disney trilogy wasn't great, and then it's like this has just kind of reignited everyone's love for Star Wars.
It was a shining light in a very dark spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mimic that idea. It's still very young to say how well it's aged, but it has allowed this additional Filoni content in this time period to come through, bringing us Ahsoka, and all the other stuff that comes along with that, and the film show that we've got, Andor, all of that stuff has been allowed to happen because of the success of Mando.
Yeah. Rewatchability.
So I'm really upset because the thing I've written for rewatchability is going to mean nothing to you. Oh, actually, it might. It might still mean something to you, but it probably won't. I just wrote, "I am the danger."
So I know that.
Yeah, that is.
I think.
Am I ballsy enough to say this? Yes, I am. That is the greatest soliloquy in TV history.
Fair. No, I know that scene. I've seen the clip. Like I couldn't avoid it.
It is just.
Do you know what I think is partly as well the reason is why I struggled to get past season 2 is like I knew of all the things that were like later down the line, like the big moments. It's like this doesn't feel like it's getting anywhere, and I got like I was just like I'm waiting too long for these moments that I'm kind of like waiting to get context on.
I'll be honest. I was concerned about the pacing. I was like, is this just going to start going at 1,000,000 miles an hour and not pay any? But it never does. At no point do you find yourself going, right, we're making massive jumps here. We're missing something.
Yeah,
actually, I don't know. Maybe I need to do a deep dive on Breaking Bad at some point. You should watch it, though. And I hope my opinion of it holds enough weight for you to go, okay, maybe I can look past just the hype and trust you. You know, like you have with The Boys,
I was
going to
say,
and everything else, and Suicide Squad.
Whoa, Invincible's a new suggestion.
I assumed you had taste and you'd watched it. It's been out since like 2018, lad.
I mean, all I need to say is The Boys, and that kind of sums up.
I'm still fuming.
Mando.
Invincible.
It's one of the if I was doing a Star Wars. I probably would I feel like with Star Wars, you have to watch it in eras. Now there's so much.
Yeah.
It's like I would happily like sit down and rewatch like the Mando once Ahsoka's out the Mando into Ahsoka that period. Because it's a TV show. If I was to sit down though and watch any so I'm gonna pick a film first. So it's like.
That's fair. I think Mando is crazy rewatchable, but like you said, it is very much about the era you like.
Yeah.
If you're like a post Empire era kind of dude, which I am, I like that era.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty peak. I cannot wait for a couple of films to be set in that era and really give me like plenty to choose from.
Yeah, I think once we've got Ahsoka and like the Mando film at the end of it all, like I think it'll make it higher on the list of rewatchability.
Fair enough.
Um,
Okay, story time.
I think
Peak Star Wars.
yeah, it's peak Star Wars. It was very like it was a very strong opening story for that Mando character of him being like this Wild West sort of character, mysterious child that he's trying to say like and gets hooked emotional attachment. Like it was very much peak Star Wars without lightsabers though, but still,
Which is what I always wanted.
which is just still so enjoyable. And honestly, it does like everything it needed. Like it never kind of stretched itself into a, oh, that felt like too much, or like they never lent on. Yes, they lent on Grogu or Baby Yoda as he was known in season one, but like the show very much has stayed true to it is a Mandalorian show.
100%.
Um, so I think that's great. Breaking Bad. I mean, I've heard that like the story gets amazing.
Breaking Bad might have some of the most impressive and well written character development in the history of storytelling. I have never seen a character develop so smoothly across 6 seasons of a television show. Less than 60 episodes, they managed to pull off a complete 180 of a character without you ever going, that was where it happened right there. It's so smooth.
I'm not like I've heard
And it's not
many
just
good
one
things.
character they do it with. They give these massive character changes to most of the cast, smooth as butter, which is just so impressive. The story and the writing are just phenomenal.
Well, yeah, there's a reason everyone loved it so much.
It also has the greatest bottle episode of all time.
Okay.
Fun fact for you. I'll fight. That is one of them points I'll fight anyone on. The Fly is the greatest bottle episode of all time. Acting.
Go on.
For Mando, I've put it's mainly voice acting for Pedro Pascal at this point. However, the voice acting and the puppetry for Grogu, both very good, and it's solid acting all round. There's no like, oh my god, I know it's a TV show, but give this man an Oscar. But at no point are you going, oh, that was a bit goofy.
I would say for Mando that like, well, yes, it's mainly voice acting now. Like, there's less and less in suit that Pedro Pascal does. But like, to be honest, he in those like season one when he was still doing quite a bit of it, I think he did an excellent job. It's like it's not easy acting with a helmet on and showing emotion, and he did an excellent job of getting that acting portrayed, even though his face was completely covered. And I think
I want to know the only other time I've been so impressed with an actor who's not got the full ability of their face for a lot of the roles. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
yes,
Andrew
Spider-Man is
Garfield
another.
with the mask on is so much better than both Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire. And it's so difficult to do. It's why in so many superhero films, in the third act, the mask comes off.
Yeah,
It's so you can get that full range of emotion. And they've managed to keep the helmet on Mando for a lot more than you'd expect.
yeah.
With some of the emotion they deal with.
And obviously the like you said, the puppeteering and of the other characters that come along, like I think all do great jobs with their acting.
Breaking Bad is peak though.
Yeah,
I mean, how many Emmys did Bryan Cranston win for Breaking Bad? They did 6 seasons.
well, that's the thing. Like, it's defined him now as an actor.
How many acting Emmys did Breaking Bad win? 16. It won 16 acting Emmys in 6 seasons. That's fucking crazy.
I won't. There's no denying. Like,
Oh yeah, no, but I can't convince you the acting's good just on my opinion. I need like
I know.
metrics for you to understand how
No,
well received
and
the
I mean,
acting was.
let's be honest. Like, he has become pretty much defined by that role now,
Which
which
is
just
crazy when you consider how many
shows.
other great roles he's had.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like shows how well he portrayed that character. So,
Well, do you know what the crazy thing is? And like people of our generation don't realize this as much. He was a comedy actor
mm-hmm.
exclusively before Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and he changed
He
everyone's
was.
perspective.
He decided he was going to stop doing Malcolm in the Middle
Mm-hmm.
because he wanted to get serious. He didn't find any work for 6 months. He was about to go back crawling and go, "Do you still want to do another series of Malcolm in the Middle?" When he got offered the role for Breaking Bad.
Changed trajectory.
Of everything.
So yeah, you can't deny that some of the greatest acting.
If for nothing else, I love Breaking Bad for showing us how good an actor Bryan Cranston is outside of his pure comedy talent.
Mm-hmm.
Cinematography. Ba-da-da-da-da.
I would
I'm loving it.
say Mando paved the way of the virtual set.
Yeah.
What they've been able to do with that has like kind of revolutionized cinema in a way.
What I said was, it's very good. It's very pretty. They literally created a whole new system with the virtual set that had never been used before to achieve their goals. Mm-hmm. And it all works so well. It holds up. It looks good. It is the most consistently reliable show on Disney Plus for the quality of the visuals.
Yes.
Breaking Bad. It's not pretty in the traditional sense of what we normally talk about cinematography,
mm-hmm.
but in the more traditional sense of cinematography, like the way they position shots,
yeah,
and the lighting and stuff like that, is some of the best I've seen in TV and actually noticed. So like the color palette isn't always that good, but they're very deliberate with the way they shoot their scenes.
Yeah,
and it's one of the few TV shows that don't feel like they've just got generic camera angles.
Yeah,
and like they think about the shot a lot more.
Breaking Bad definitely stepped up the quality of like what you expect from a TV show to be more cinema-esque. I think it's tough. It's like we said, Mando does an excellent job of is pushed forwards with the virtual set and the product like of what is possible, and then not doing what some studios have done in years like MCU, just go full blue screen. Like they've found a very great balance of practical and VFX.
Which is what Star Wars' bread and butter is.
Yes.
It's not Star Wars if it doesn't find that balance.
And they've done an amazing job with that. And I think, like you say, also with Breaking Bad, even though I've not seen it, like I can't, from things I've seen on the internet and stuff, like, yeah, like it's shot incredibly. So.
Overall, I cannot in good conscience say Mando deserves to go through ahead of Breaking Bad. I cannot. I love Mando. And I'm not a big believer in, because it's a nerdy thing, it's inherently worse. But Breaking Bad is something else.
If I was going personally off what I've experienced, obviously I'm going to go Mando. I haven't seen Breaking Bad, even though I know enough about it, and I've like, yes, but like I would lean Mando because I have more there. But going off what I've seen and knowing like even though I haven't enjoyed it, I know like how well held Breaking Bad is. Like, yeah, it makes like there's no way that is worse than Mando. Like that's.
I would implore you to give it one more chance.
Maybe one day. We'll see.
Just headbutt through them first 2 seasons. I've looked at what the cliffhanger was at the end of the second season. After you see that, you will be locked the fuck in.
We'll see.